You and your group stand on the outskirts of the city of Reno, looking at the gaping hole in the ground that leads down to the zombie hive. We're really going in there? We have to save our friends. Beside you, Shannon swallows nervously, her hand shaking as she stares down the tunnel. You gonna be okay? I don't know. I'm glad we finally know where the zombies come from, but it's so dark and they're so closed off. We'll be right there with you, but if you would rather wait back here... No, I'm coming. Just stay close to me, please. Of course. Everyone, stick together. I think everyone knows to stay quiet. That way we'll stand the best chance if drones do manage to sniff us out. And if we do get separated, get out of there, or there's a good chance we'll never find you. And don't make too much noise or else, well, I'm sure I don't have to tell you. Exactly. And we, done with the lesson. We're burning daylight. You slowly creep up to the entrance, listening closely for any movement, though everything remains quiet. Looks clear. But they're definitely around. You follow his gaze to where a couple of trails of dried blood stain the dirt, leading into the tunnel. Remember what Sledge said. There will be at least a couple soldiers in the area. Don't remind me. You step into the dark cavern, trailing your hand along the moist edges of the wall as your eyes adjust when your foot lands on something that gives a sickly squelch. I don't want to know what that was. I can't see a damn thing in here. Bitching about it will help. You switch on your night vision goggles and throw your hands back to stop Troy from stepping on a piece of bone. Careful. Thanks. Hell of an alarm system. The tiniest noises are enough to hold your progress. A drip of water hitting the floor feels like it echoes for minutes, and Shannon clutches your arm. Do you hear? Shh. You press on, walking down the slight incline until a strange orange glow catches your eye. Faint, but getting closer. I think I see a light up ahead. And you want to go towards it? It's the only way we can go, dumbass. Angel's right, there's no turning back. Taking a deep breath, you continue deeper into the dark tunnel, scattered with human remains. Welcome to Wake the Dead! Hopefully you're all enjoying. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Chapter 16, Into the Deep. The light gets brighter the deeper you get, until you emerge in a large cavern with tunnels branching off in all directions. Strange veins of glowing orange run through the walls and ceiling. Small pustule-like growths cling to rocks, pulsing. What is this stuff? Well, these caves are where they hibernate, so maybe it's some kind of food source? I need to get closer to look to... Save the science, we need to keep moving if we don't want to be found. So what, we play eeny, meeny, miny with the tunnels and hope for the best? We should approach this logically. We start with the leftmost tunnel, and then we come back and take the next one until we find our friends. Except we have no idea how long any of them go on for. It could be days. Do you have a better idea then? Because we aren't giving up. Fine, lead the way. You head down the first tunnel, the orange veins along the wall growing thinner as you go. You take a deep breath only to gag at the overwhelming stench of decay that fills your nostrils. That's not your typical zombie smell. It's more like an actual corpse. There's a difference? Maybe this is where they put the actual corpses. Soon you find the source of the smell at the end of the tunnel. The body of a knight lays on the ground, his body half devoured. Dead end. Looks like our friend from the Iron Mount found that out the hard way. You need to find probably the orange pustules lead along the wall that get bigger and brighter as you go towards the room you're looking for. His armor's torn apart, a still gleaming helmet lying on the ground a few feet away. Angel raps her knuckles against the side. Still solid. Seems a shame to leave a perfectly good armor on someone who isn't using it. Especially down here. We could all use hard hats right now. Yeah, I know. If only we could, gear up other people of our party. Everyone gets, a certain piece, to help them. You're the one leading. You should take it, Faith. You could ram a drone with your skull and not feel a thing with that thing on. Diamond choice. Knight's armor. Knight's helmet. No sense letting it go to waste. You walk up to the helmet and pick it up carefully, fitting it onto your head. Well, how's it look?
Looks like you're here to save the day.
Retracing your steps, you find yourself back in the cavernous room, picking your way past the dimly glowing puddles and patches of slime. Anyone want to pick the next tunnel? Your guess is as good as mine. There's gotta be a way to puzzle this out. It can't just be random. All creatures work in patterns. Did any of you notice anything unique about the dead-end tunnel that set it apart?
I mean, it got pretty dark there. Way darker than back here.
Ah, not to mention smellier. So we follow the light. I don't know what this glowing stuff is, but it's connected to the zombies somehow. I say we investigate the brighter tunnels first. Maybe they'll lead us to something important. Oh, that's very astute, Faith. Thank you.
And let's get going. The sooner we find our friends, the sooner we can get out of here.
So using the strange glow as a guide, you head down a narrow tunnel off to the right, forcing your way to walk a single file as it slopes gradually down a hill. As you move deeper and deeper into the hive, the floor of the cave grows sticky, clinging to your boots. Hollows appear on the sides of the walls, empty, but just big enough to hold a person. This must be where they hibernate. It smells disgusting.
Ooh, weird.
You turn to see Angel, holding her hand up under one of the lights, the surfaces of her palm coated in a thin layer of goo.
Why did you touch it?
I don't know, it looked cool. Oh my god. Shannon, you want to take a look? You turn to see Shannon trembling, her breath coming in short pants and her eyes wide as they dart about the enclosed space. It's so tight in here. I can't breathe. I can't. Hey, it's alright. We're all together. We'll keep you safe. Let me again. Please don't leave me again. Now is not the time for your shit. Her voice rises above a whisper, and all your friends exchange worried glances as you grab a hold of both of her shoulders, looking her right in the eyes. No one's leaving you, Shannon, but we have to stay quiet, remember? Suddenly you hear a monstrous hiss echo from deeper in the tunnel, and heavy footsteps shake the tunnel floor.
Soldier coming. Our luck just ran out.
There's 5 of us. We can take one of those, right? And it's enclosed space versus a soldier who usually will go for open spaces, so yeah, we can do it.
Not quietly.
Get in the hollows, quick. Oh, can you imagine Shannon in one of those? Lauren quickly scatters, stepping back into the indentations in the walls until you can hardly see them. Everyone except for Shannon. I can't, Faith. I can't go in there. Shannon, you have to. I'm so sorry. Whimpering, Shannon screws her eyes shut, crams herself in one of the alcoves. The soldier's massive footsteps draw closer as you scan the walls for your own hiding place. In one wall, you spy a narrow crevice lined with a white knife-like shard of stone. On the other, you see a smooth alcove dripping with stinking ooze. You know, I love how many sirens has passed my house in the last, minute. It's getting annoying. Knife-like shards of glass. Does it really matter? Hide in the ooze. Seems like one if you don't have armor. Squeeze into the crevice sideways, or dive into the crevice. Yeah, that's just gonna make noise. The Seek jacket allows you to squeeze deep into the tight space, while the thick material and metal studs protect you from the sharp spikes of rock. Good thing I wore this. Those spikes would have torn me apart. That is not your average soldier. Holy shit. The soldier lumbers into view, beady eyes glinting in the orange light. It pauses to sniff the air, and your breath catches as its huge head swings in your direction. Crap, can it smell me? Squinting in the low light, the hulking creature wanders over to your hiding place and paws at the wall. Its huge claws scrape over the rough stone and just inches from your face. With a loud huff, the soldier turns away, slothing off down the tunnel. Once it's gone, you emerge from your hiding place, brushing bits of stone off your shoulders as the others join you. Everyone okay? Oh, just fine, except I'm never gonna get that stink out of my hair.
Let's go before it comes back.
But Shannon still remains in her hollow, her whole body shaking, tears streaming down her face. You gently help her out and wrap your arms around her. Crap. crap, Shannon, I'm sorry. I just didn't want you to get caught by that soldier. I know, She takes a shaky breath and wipes at her eyes, though she remains trembling. We should keep moving so I don't have to do that again. After wandering through the tunnels for what feels like hours, the space in front of you widens into a cavern, its walls pitted with large holes. We've got company. Angel grabs your shoulder and points to a hollow ahead where you see a drone stuck inside looking right at you. Maybe this is where they make new hollows. Reach for your weapon, stepping back, but the drone doesn't move. It just continues to stare ahead. I think it's asleep. Imagine sleeping with your eyes open. Woof. So you look to either side and see dozens more drones in the walls, the same viscous goo you've seen in other places oozing down between their limbs. You're telling me that all these zombies are gonna wake up in a week, and we have to fight them? Unfortunately. So why don't we just take them out now? They'll never see it coming. Because if one of them manages to make a noise, it'll get us all killed. So maybe we should stop talking. Thank you. Everyone falls silent, and you continue across the cavern, glancing nervously at each of the zombies as you pass by. At the opposite end, you see what looks like an archway with an even brighter space beyond. You're halfway across when a drone lurches out from the wall. Well, there's your noise. It grabs a hold of your claws, digging into your arms, and you barely manage to throw your hands up to hold it back. It snaps at your face, teeth clattering noisily together, and out of the corner of your eye you spot the other drones in the wall starting to stir. If we don't get this one out quickly and quietly, it's gonna wake all the others. And thank God. You know how long it takes to think that, let alone say that? You could have knifed it in the head by now. You pull out one hand back to grab a crossbow bolt, but the other hand isn't enough to keep at bay. Teeth nearly grazing your neck. Thank God we brought 5 other people. Well, 4, but... Its snarling mouth sprays spit across your face, and your fingers dig into its gaping hole across its throat as you struggle to keep it back. Throwing your head forward, you slam the blunt metal of your helmet into the creature's forehead. You would probably say go for a windpipe. The brittle bones shatters from the blow, pieces stabbing into the drone's brain. The zombie falls limp in your arms, and you gently lower it to the ground as it lets out a final gurgle. You look around and let out a sigh of relief when all the other drones seem to settle. Angel grins and gives you 2 thumbs up. Thank God all of you watched! I'm serious. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. As you near the entrance to find into the cavern, you come to a section of wall where most of the hollows are empty, apart from one in the middle. A man's body, only slightly decayed, lies suspended by the strange sticky substance inside. If all the others are gone, I wonder why he's still here. Maybe he hasn't developed enough. He's still got most of his skin. Looks like there's some kind of notebook sticking out of his pocket. Might tell us where he came from or what happened. Coast is clear if you want to stop. I say go for it, especially if it could help Shannon's research. Shannon perks up a bit to Troy's words. If you don't mind, Faith, I'd appreciate it. Diamond choice. If it could help. You carefully remove the notebook from his pocket and crack it open. I'll try and get through it quickly. You all keep an eye out. March 8th, 2045. The journal is the property of Luis Iglesias, Sunset Apartments, Reno, Nevada. Journal entry 1 out of 4. Morning patrol, Tina and Caleb spotted 2 drones by the grocery store, avoided contact. Noon patrol, me and Alonzo killed a drone by Broadway Avenue. Night guard, Caleb and Amelia will get the reports in the morning. Supplies are currently 2 rolls of gauze, a pack of small bandages, half a bottle of rubbing alcohol, and a can of gas. Ration bars given to everyone for breakfast, split 3 cans of peaches for lunch, 2 potato cakes to everyone for dinner. Food supplies are low, all 3 grocery stores within a 5-mile radius have been well picked. The warehouse on the 8 supposedly has enough food to last for months, but the gang that controls it doesn't like sharing. Maybe someday we'll be desperate enough to make a run at them, but not yet. They've got a lot of big guns. For now, we're planning to make the trek into the suburbs tomorrow. Hopefully some of the smaller spots won't be so cleaned down. Journal entry 2. I'm writing this from my cot. Nothing else I can do right now. No one wants to get near me. Supply run was a failure. We managed to scavenge a little bit of food, but paid a high price. Food found at a pharmacy that was boarded up, looked like still had stuff inside, but no easy way in, so we broke the glass. Don't understand how, but there were 5 drones in there. and they were all on us in an instant. One of them bit my shoulder. The wound's nasty, but not that deep. I know in some groups it's standard procedure to kill anyone with a bite, but no expectations. That's not how we do things here. We've heard rumors of people fighting off the infection. Maybe I'll get lucky. In the meantime, I'm confined to my room. Hector said to keep track of my symptoms, so I'm recording them here. Tina washed and bandaged the wound. She used to be a nurse, I found out. It feels hot. It started to itch. Sometimes I'll doze off and wake up scratching, blood on my fingers. My body temp is all out of whack, too. Sometimes I'm shivering, even under 4 blankets. Then sometimes I'm so hot I feel like I'm suffocating. Lily felt my forehead, said I was burning up. I'm definitely sweating. My shirt's soaked through. This has got to be the worst fever I've ever had. Had dinner 20 minutes ago, rice and beans, but something didn't taste right about it. I'm still starving. I'm gonna get food poisoning on top of this. Been nibbling on some jerky. That seems to help. Ah, meat. Journal entry 3. I'm so hungry. It's been 36 hours since I got bit, and all I can think about is food. Lily was skinning some rabbits she snared, and I could smell it from my room, smell the blood. I don't know what came over me. I stumbled out of my room, grabbed one, tore it apart while it was still raw. I felt better after. It didn't last long. I went for more food, but Hector wouldn't let me have any. Said I was running out of the stalks dry. I got mad. I threw myself at him, and for a second he smelled like a good medium rare steak. God, what I wouldn't give for one of those. Caleb and Tina dragged me off of him. I heard them talking about tossing me out, but Lily wouldn't allow it. She's better than I ever deserved. The wound on my shoulder is oozing some kind of pus now. The skin around it is peeling, but that might be something because of the itching. I've started blacking out. I thought I was just falling asleep, but Lily says I still move and talk. Apparently I snapped at Alonzo one day when he came in to check on me, and then today. Lily said she was bringing me dinner, and I lunged at her, knocking her to the ground. She managed to get away and lock me in. If I had hurt her, I told her to handcuff me to the water pipe in the bathroom. At least this way I can't hurt anyone else. Yep, that definitely isn't... Well, no, I guess Eli did get to that point, didn't he? I mean, he didn't get to the wound being that bad, but he did get to the lunging at us when we went to, either deal with him or not. Don't know what happened, don't know what day it is. I think I'm still awake, but I'm outside. How'd I get outside? I don't know where I am. There's blood on my shirt, blood on my hands, face feels sticky. Not hungry anymore. Sun's so bright, hurts my eyes, whole body's itching now. I want to tear off my skin. Feels like I'm being pulled somewhere. South? I think I'm going south. Where's Lily? Drones everywhere. They're leaving me alone, though. One'll sniff at me for a sec, but then wander off. Maybe they like the blood. I have to stop writing now. Fingers going numb. Don't feel like mine anymore. Don't feel like me. Lily, where? Did I? I'm sorry. I hope you're... Well, that's it. This guy kept a detailed account of everything that happened to him as he turned. Oh, that could have all sorts of useful information. I mean, sure. Ready to move on? Even though we watched Eli, I mean, you nod, moving away from the body, and following Eli towards a pulsing glow of the next chamber. The source of the brighter light comes clear as soon as you step into the cavern. They're eggs. They're satchels. What the hell? The pods in the chamber are much larger than the others you've seen. The vein-like appendages running along the outside. Shannon's eyes widen in awe. She takes it all in. Just look at this place. Everything we could learn. This has got to be the center of the hive, right? It's got the most goop. Yeah, I wouldn't expect the central chamber to be better guarded. They probably don't expect anyone to get this far. Stay low, just in case. Keeping close to the wall, you move closer to the chamber and over to the one of strange orange vessels, finally getting a good look at it. It is a person inside. Fascinating. Gross. We don't even know what these things are for. Are we even sure it's safe to be near them? One way to find out. We should poke it. Give it a wide berth, at least until we learn more about it. How are we going to do that? From across the room? Preferably. Before you can stop her, Angel reaches out and slaps the side of the... Girl, I'm gonna slap your ass. Angel! The pod's membrane splits along one edge and pours glowing orange liquid down the side, splashing loudly onto the ground. Good job! Good job, Angel! This is why I'm not taking you. This is why we can't have nice things. A scout snarls from the other side of the cavern and begins to approach. You all pile behind the now leaking pod before it can see you. That's why we don't touch things we don't understand. Then the scout would have gotten the drop on us. Can we argue about this later, when there isn't a zombie nearby waiting to kill us? I can't get a clear shot from here, but if I move, it's definitely gonna see me. Maybe we can wait it out. It's bound to leave at some point. Or we kill it, so it can't come back. As long as we can do it without drawing more attention to ourselves. You know what? I'm gonna do it. YOLO. Hope this vest is as good as Sledge said it was. Faith, what are you... I'm YOLOing! You grabbing Eli's knife from his belt, you bolt out of hiding and right at the scout. Its head whips in your direction as it lets out an angry shriek, but when it swipes at you, its claws merely catch on the leather as your vest rather than cut through. You stab the knife right into the creature's forehead and it falls back to the ground with a final groan. The others slowly come out of hiding as you dust off your vest, which seems no worse for the wearer. That was reckless. Well, what did you want to do, Eli? We'll sit and wait. Maybe Angel can poke some more pods. Work, though. Shannon carefully approaches another pod and leans in close, peering into it. Her eyes go wide and she takes a step back. Oh my god. What? What's wrong? There's a zombie in there. No way. Getting closer, it becomes apparent a humanoid figure suspended in liquid, and it gently bobs near the edge. You can make out the unmistakable claws, but something about it looks strange. Its body seems swollen, tendril-like pieces of flesh sprout from its lower jaw. That doesn't look like any drone I've seen before. I mean, it kind of reminds me of a soldier. Shannon hurries to another pod, squinting to see inside. This one's mouth is distorted like it's turning into a scout. Look at the other pods. What's inside? We got a siren over here. Well, we need to take that damn thing out. And another scout. I have no idea what this is, but it's freaking ugly. No, so Shannon was right. This is where drones are transformed into other types of zombies. Just what the hell? I mean, both of these questions are already answered right in front of you. Is that liquid? Nutrients, probably. Some sort of signaling proteins that trigger the development of special characteristics. That's why the zombie parasite is genetically identical across zombie types. It's environmentally controlled phenotypical polymorphosis. Oh yeah, obviously, it's that thing. You pass by another pod, one that holds a soldier. When it fixes its eyes on you, it lets out a low groan. Look at that big boy. Look at it. You stumble back and look around, realizing a few other zombies are watching you from their individual pods. Holy crap, they're awake. So why aren't they attacking us? They appear to be sedated. I mean, they still have to stay still long enough to change their form completely. This fills so many gaps in my theories. But if all the zombies finish transforming before the solstice, they could completely wipe us out. That's exactly why I need to bring some of the stuff back with us. If I can learn more about it, especially its sedation effect, I'll be able to make even more powerful grenades. But what about the patrolling zombies? If we work in teams, we could probably get everything we need in a few minutes. Oh, especially that pod that burst open. Wonder if there's only any orange gelatinous goo in that one left. Exactly. You, Troy, and Eli can collect samples while me and Angel take a look at the other pods. See if there's anything we can miss. Diamond choice. We need to understand this. Shannon eagerly passes you a couple test tubes off of her belt. Fill these with whatever fluid is in there. The more you get, the better. Oh, and don't let it touch you. The parasite can't normally pass through the membrane of our outer skin, but who knows what this stuff is capable of. Well, I'm starting to regret agreeing to this. Shannon grabs Angel's arm and drags her off to inspect another pod, while you return to Troy and Eli. Troy, you hold the membrane tight, I'll cut it open, and then Eli can get the samples. Why do I have to be the one to touch it? Because you drew the short order of the straw. The sooner you do it, the sooner we'll be done. Eli takes the test tubes and hands you the hunting knife, while Troy gently pinches two edges between his fingers and stretches them out. It's slimy. Why is it slimy? Careful where you make the cut.
We don't want to get covered in this stuff.
Please, my clothes haven't recovered from the tunnels. The way Shannon talked, I think ruined clothes would be the last of your worries. Leaning in close, you get a better look and note the fluid line stops from 3/4 of the way up the pond, leaving the top full of air. Above the line. At the line or above the line? At the line, I guess.
Wait, Faith, that's gonna...
As you cut into the flesh, a giant spout of fluid comes shooting out of the hole. Okay, at the line, that's not how this works. Okay? That's not... Okay, you know what? Just shut up. The scientist in me is really triggered right now. Eli barely pulls out of the way, so the stream of fluid passes barely inches from your face.
And that's why I said to be careful.
I'm guessing above the line. The three of you wait while the fluid drains down until it's below the incision you made. Okay, I literally selected at the line, which means it would have spilled out a little, but not much. That was the point. Eli carefully presses the test tube up against the incision, causing a small amount of liquid to push up and out, dripping right into it. We're done over here. Shannon peeks her head out from behind another pod.
Oh, wait, do you think you can get a blood and tissue sample from the zombie while you're at it?
You want anything else? Like coffee, sandwich, anything? We can try, but we don't exactly have the tools for it.
You have a knife.
Eli wordlessly pulls a syringe out of his bag.
Look at Mr. Overprepared here. It's not overprepared if it comes in handy.
Eli carefully sticks his arm through the hole you made and reaches for the zombie inside, but can't quite get to it. Oh!
Damn, it's too far away.
Maybe if Troy and I get on the other side and we push it towards you. Or, I know, we now rip open the thing, right? We cut it open, we stab a knife into the head of the zombie, and then we can get all the samples we want. No? No? Okay.
I knew you were gonna say that.
You and Troy move around the back and brace against the pod, trying to push the zombie inside closer to Eli. Pressed up close, the smell is horrendous, a mixture of spoiled milk, sweat, and meat. It's been sitting in the sun. I'm hungry now. Troy gags beside you.
Oh, God. Are they gonna be sick?
Don't be such a baby.
Hey, I came with you to do this horrible death trap, didn't I?
That's because we'd never make it without you.
It's one of the best jokes you've ever told. Now you both know I'm not exactly the most competent in combat, not compared to you, Angel, and Army Surplus over there.
Maybe not, but we all need your sense of humor to spur us on.
Oh, you're lucky I'm a sucker for flattery. A little more almost got it.
You're killing me? You and Troy push even harder, and the zombie's head winds up right in front of Troy's face.
Oh, it's watching me!
It's probably the closest you'll ever hit a zombie without it getting eaten. Savor it.
Oh, I'd rather not.
Eli gets a hold of the drone's arm, drawing blood from the syringe and tearing off a chunk of its skin with his knife. Oh, that's nice.
Done.
As you and Troy step away, the pod shifts back into shape. While Troy tries to wipe away the residue from his jacket, you move back around to Eli, who's still staring at the pod. Everything okay?
I've spent almost my whole life fighting these monsters. There's still so much I don't understand.
Shannon spent most of her life studying them, and this is new to her too. We're all in the dark.
That's not exactly comforting.
Well, Eli, we're in this together. You don't have to be the only one figuring out how to keep everyone safe. You aren't alone anymore. There are people you can rely on. Whatever comes at us, we'll face it by each other's sides.
You're right. We will. If that's everything we need, we should see if Shannon's finished.
You, Troy, and Eli find Shannon nearby, examining the base of one of the pods. You pass the samples over to her, and she quickly tucks them into her bag. We got everything. Fluid, zombie tissue, blood.
Amazing. This is gonna do so much good. I just know it.
Hope you're right.
Next time, you get to do your own dirty work. tell ya. As you push further into the cavern, the floor slopes steadily down. The fleshy membranes and pods grow more frequent before the floor drops away into a shallow pit full of bones and flesh. And in one of the corners sits a trembling May, curled in on herself and sobbing quietly. I guess the rest of everyone didn't make it. May. You immediately leap down into the pit. The others follow after and rush over to her. She stares up at you with watery eyes, her dirty face streaked with tears. Couldn't we have told her to just come to us? Seriously. Faith, you're here? I'm here. Me, Shannon, Troy, Eli, Angel, we're all here. She bursts into tears again, sobbing loudly, and you pull her in your arms and hold her tight. If you could smother her and tell her to stop, that would be great. I was so scared when I woke up and I didn't know where I was or what happened, and I felt like it was a bad dream. It's gotta be a bad dream. Eli puts his hand on your shoulders. You gently stroke her back. We shouldn't linger here. We also shouldn't be making noise. He nods his head at the chunks of flesh and fabric littering the floor, rocks deeply stained with dried blood. Everyone else is gone. May, what happened to the others? Her tears soak into your shoulders. A sob shakes her whole body. They were all eaten. We were too late. Convenient. We got May. That's what it means. It was worth it. You set May down beside you, keeping hold of her hand and head for the edge of the pit, when Eli suddenly goes still. Freeze. Something's there. You follow his gaze to the shadows behind some of the pods. Very quiet footsteps slowly approaching. May clings to your leg and sobs harder. She's back to me, just like she ate everybody else. I wasn't strong enough to fight her. I couldn't save everyone. May, who? Probably the queen. Looking back into the darkness, you spot a glowing pair of amber eyes. As they move closer, the light from the pods reveals a humanoid figure, rotted flesh hardened into plates, and strange spikes that grow out of her head and shoulders. She is literally Kerrigan from StarCraft. Oh boy. They literally ripped that off. Okay. The zombie stops at the edge of the pit, watching you steadily. Whoa, never seen one of those before. I don't like the way it's looking at us. The creature's eyes meet yours, nothing like the dead, vacant stare of a normal zombie. It looks like it's thinking. Zombies don't think. Well, if she's patient zero and the queen, it is. Well, no, but what is it doing then? Deciding. Your heart turns to ice. Unconsciously, you pull May closer, staring at the zombie that just did something impossible. Deciding what? Who to eat next? Whether to kill you now, or play a little first. Dude, since when can zombies talk? Ignoring the question, the zombie approaches one of the pods and gently strokes the side with the back of her fingers, opening it up. A half-formed scout floats to the surface. She lifts its face towards hers, almost tenderly. What the hell is she doing? Telling it to play with us. Shannon takes a step forward as the strange zombie bends down, opening her mouth to let a stream of amber liquid fall from her mouth into the scouts. You changed the regular zombies into all the other zombies types we've been seeing. You're the missing link. The strange zombie straightens to her full height, her posture proud as her glowing eyes bore into yours. I am a queen. Some atavistic instinct seizes your mind. You're desperate to flee before this predator, but too terrified to move. Swallowing, you try and crush the fear down where the queen can't see it. Tell me, why are you different? My offspring needs someone to guide them. Without me, there would be no warriors, no singers. Every nest must have a queen. Every nest. Oh god, there are others? May squeezes your leg a bit tighter. She chokes back another frightened sob. Don't let her eat me. Listen, I'm trying not to have read everybody in this group right now, okay? You give May's shoulder a reassuring squeeze, glaring at the queen as fiercely as you can manage. So what's the point of all this, then? What do you want? What does every creature on this earth want? To live, to thrive, to multiply. The longest day approaching. Soon there will be more children than I alone can take care of. She opens up another pod, a siren from a brief glimpse you get. This time the fluid that falls from her lips is tinged slightly green. Different jellies from different types, but how were you made? Did another queen make you from a drone? Drone? The thing you're putting liquid into. The queen cocks her head for a moment and then smiles. Oh, no, queen does not die to be reborn. She merely sleeps. That smile is just atrociously great. The queen slowly walks over to another pod, this one glowing gold rather than orange. It's a delicate balance. A strong human makes a strong queen, but the strong ones can sometimes resist the change. She lays her hand affectionately against the pod's glowing surface. This one fought for days. 3 times I almost lost her. With a will so strong, she will make this land bleed. We don't have to fight. You're the first zombie we've been able to talk to. Now we could come to some sort of agreement. A wolf does not negotiate with sheep. Until you are one of us, you are our prey. Eli glances at you as he takes a step back, the rest of you naturally following his lead and creeping closer to the edge of the pit. Faith, we need to get out of here. Before this freaky Z-bag calls all of her friends. Then you guys need to run, and I need to take her on. Faith. The queen suddenly laughs, the sound making your skin crawl. Of course, I wondered why you smelled so familiar. What are you talking about? She said your name so many times, crying it out in her sleep. Oh no. It's your sister. The queen takes a step forward, the golden pod, and slices it open with a razor-sharp claw. The thick golden jelly pours out and a ragged figure slumps to the ground. The newly born queen zombie shudders, clawed hands scraping the ground as she struggles to push herself up. Wake up, child. There's someone here to see you. Before she even looks at you, you know. A vice crushes shut on your heart, and you can't breathe. You only watch as the new queen lifts her head to look at you with a face you thought you would never see again. Patricia? No. In search of the colonist, your group entered the hive. You took the knight's helmet. Great for you. You read the infection log. You collected valuable samples. And May was the only survivor left from your colony. There's nothing we can really do to change that. The zombie queen revealed herself as one responsible for mutated zombies you've been seeing. Your sister Patricia is now a queen herself. But can we reach her, though? If she's so strong-willed. Goddamn, research is up there. I love intelligence, but goddamn! Without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description below, links to social media, Discord, and if you like to support me and my content. Without further ado, I thought about, doing kind of like the normal voice I do for, say, Angel, but then I kind of went like this with it. Kind of slow and whatnot. I went on a whim. It was either that or go a little something like this. Yeah, like the border queen, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, no, seriously, if you guys ever watch StarCraft, literally, hey, the queen is, like, literally the queen of blades. The only thing she doesn't have is wings. That is literally it. She literally just, go look at StarCraft Kerrigan. Okay, just look up Kerrigan. And that is what I'm talking about. like not the unhuman version, but she was literally same shit. She was turned into a queen of the hive, right? And she literally had to go through the same incubation process that Patricia just went through. And then she literally became the queen of the Zerg. Initially, she wasn't queen, but then she became queen when she actually overruled and took over and killed the Overlord and all that happened. Yeah, became the queen of the Zerg. Ironically, the same fucking process happens with that too. So they are literally taking from The Walking Dead and StarCraft. Okay? Just want you all to know that. I mean, okay, whatever. I get it. People pull from, different genres and different literatures and whatnot to try and make a better story or kind of just pull references or whatnot, but you are literally merging the two of them, okay? Just saying. Without further ado, love you beautiful faces. I'll catch you later. I'll be streaming. Peace out.